That's
Testing. Mahaba? Chelsea. Okay, so now
I'm
we're.
going to be using this. What do you think?
Oh, you try?
Yeah, it's good.
Now you're speaking.
No, just stop on.
Could we see? Go click mic. We'll try it and Jamie will see where it's routing.
Testing. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, can you just keep talking and we see the.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. Okay.
Okay, no, it's fine. So you see here, this is what we're showing.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
and then
the information here, I might not talk about it.
I will talk about
You
it
will talk.
first. I'll talk about it, and
Okay.
then I'll
Okay.
let you continue.
All right. Yeah.
So at the same time, we're on live.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a camera.
Yeah.
I think you can walk.
Probably as far as.
Yeah, basically, this area is.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all covered. Yeah.
Play find good PowerPoint ใช่ไหม
Okay.
Okay. Does it work?
Should. There's a bit of delay. So that should go there. Okay. Sometimes it's. Okay. Yeah.
This one? Oh,
Oh, it's here, right?
it's here.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Have to be facing.
Okay, yeah, facing laptop.
Yeah.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, good afternoon. So, my name is Wallace, okay, and I take charge of the European and other languages and cultural programs on HV Space, yeah. And this is going to be your teacher today, okay, Mr. Shokhi Lyle, okay. So, I'll first briefly, because today we have our information section on the certificate module Foundation Arabic. I'll first talk about this program. Okay, afterwards, you're going to get to know more about the Arabic language and related culture. Okay, through a teacher here. If you have questions, then feel free to ask us. Yeah, after the trial part, taste the class part. All right. And do you know how long Hong Kong Space has had Arabic courses? Any guesses? You try. 10 years, more, longer. 50 years long ago?
Wow.
60 years. Yeah.
60.
60. 60. Yeah, 60 years. It is actually, Portuguese was our very first language, okay, among all of them that we developed. Okay, afterwards it's Arabic. Okay, can you imagine 60 years ago, our school started to think of this language. Okay, but of course recently more people have become interested in it because of the government push and so on. Yeah. Okay, so but this is new program. We have had our short courses. Okay, you can find beginners Arabic 2, so on and so forth. But this is our very first award-bearing program in Arabic. Okay, so start from module. And so we're going to start our program in September. Okay, 60 hours. Yeah, what's good about this program is that here, this micro-credential, that means after completing the program successfully, you get a micro-credential. It's like a little badge, okay? And after completing certain credits, then you can apply for a certificate, okay? At the same time, this is CEF-reimbursable, okay? And for this one, you just need to meet the internal requirement. That means make sure that you attend at least 70% of the program, okay? And you need to complete our tests, our internal tests, yeah? No external test for the CEF application for this one, okay? So this is different from some other languages. You can find all this information on the website, okay? And of course, you know, we would like to introduce students to the basic letters, yeah? When you think of Arabic, what do you think of? Snakes.
Yes.
Okay, calligraphy, you know. So the letters are very important. Yeah, our teachers is going to, you know, immerse you in some of them today. Okay, and you're going to learn, you know, simple basic grammar. Yeah, I took a few lessons of Shakri. Yeah, and I was impressed. Yeah, and I think Arabic is a very fascinating language, right? Even though you master Chinese, Cantonese, English, yeah, but this is very different. Yeah. So we touch upon the cultures. Okay, so some culture parts. Yeah, you know where our teacher is from?
Egypt.
Egypt.
Close?
Close. Okay, close. Same continent.
Yeah, same continent.
Tunisia.
Tunisia. Oh,
that's
okay, bingo. Very good. Yeah.
Very good.
Tunisia. Okay, very good. Yeah. So that's why, yeah, and apart from language training, you know, he's an expert in many other different fields. Okay, he's also a teacher in our Islamic programs. Yeah, and so vocabulary, some basic grammar, the letters, some culture bits. All right, and this is the case. And here you can see, you know, brief introduction to our syllabus. Yeah, very similar to our other languages. Yeah, and the assessment, for example, we just have a final written test, yeah, a final oral test, okay, at the end of the course. Yeah. So, is it easy? Okay, so let's see how you feel, yeah, after you take the class today.
Is that all for that? Oh,
Okay, one more. Okay, the award, yeah. So as said before, right, if you pass the program successfully, then you're eligible for a certificate for module Foundation Arabic. Okay, that's an award within the HKU system. Passing about 50%, attendance 70%. Okay, so I think that's all for my part. Yeah, now you're going to have to taste the class. If you have questions about language or the courses, then you can ask the questions at the end of today's session. Okay, let's give a round of applause to Shakri.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Good to see you all. Okay, that's great. Quite a number of you interested in this language. Okay, so let me ask you the first question. What comes to your mind when you think of the Arabic world? Yes.
Eagle.
Eagle.
Oh.
Eagle. Okay, all right, yeah. Okay, where does eagle come from? The pyramids, yeah, eagle, Egypt, right? Pyramids, Egypt. What else?
Puppy.
Mummies, that's also still Egypt, okay? But the Arab world is Much more bigger than that.
So that's
The Dead Sea, exactly. The Dead Sea, that's in the Levant, Jordan area. Yes, Palestine, Jordan area. What else? Couscous. Oh, you're an expert on the Northern Africa. You said I'm from Tunisia, and then you said couscous. That's North African kind of food. Okay, great. Okay, all right. Well, let's talk a little bit. Well, the first thing, some of the oldest civilizations, they started in that part of the world. Can you name any? Babylon. Does it say Babylon, right? Okay. Now, before the Babylons, there were the Sumerians. The Sumerian civilization. We're talking about 5,500 years ago or more. Okay. So it's the cradle of civilization. Mesopotamia, that's where these civilizations flourished. The Sumerians, the Babylonians, and so on. So that's why we call it the cradle of civilization. So what is Mesopotamia? Mesopotamia? Anyone? What's the name Mesopotamia mean? That's the old name for Iraq, nowadays Iraq. Okay? So these old civilizations, they flourished there, and that's why we call this part of the world as cradle of civilization. But it is a region, when we talk about the Arab world, it's not just homogeneous, it's not the same everywhere. It's so big. Like when you go from Morocco, the furthest to the west, to let's say Djibouti in the Horn of Africa, or Oman on the Arabian Sea, that's very far. Okay, so the Arab world is so different. So different. You have Northern Africa, you have the Arabian Peninsula, you have the Horn of Africa, and so on. So really lots of diversity in terms of geography, in terms of the people, in terms of the culture, in terms of the history. But also the Arab world is often misunderstood. Why? Not many information, possibly. Maybe some of the information we receive through the media may not be correct. And there's a lot of misinformation in that respect, unfortunately. Okay. Of course, as you know, this part of the world is also the birthplace of three great religions. Can you tell me which religions is that? Islam, yes. What else? So Islam. What other religions? Great religions? Christianity, yes. What else? Judaism, exactly. Judaism. What's the relationship between these three religions? Anyone? What is the relationship between these? I mean, people talk about Muslims or Islam, Christianity, Judaism, and a lot of talk in the news and media. These three religions, they have something in common. There are many things in common, but something, they branch out from something that is really in common. What's that? Or someone in common. Abraham, he's the father. Do you know Abraham, everybody? Yes, Abraham, the biblical figure. He's the father of these three religions. Actually, Abraham was born in the city of Ur. It's no longer there. It's in nowadays Iraq, okay? So this very old, very ancient city, he was born there, but he migrated. He migrated to nowadays Palestine, the Levant countries, and together with his wife, very, very beautiful wife. Her name is Sarah. So they migrated there, and there was a big story with the Egyptian pharaoh. So the Egyptian pharaoh offered them a mate. That mate became his second wife. Her name is Hagar. Now from Hagar, he had a child. His name is Ishmael. This is a story that you can find in the Bible as well. So he took Ishmael and his second wife Hagar to where? To Mecca. You know Mecca, everybody? Where's Mecca? You know the black Bob's house, right? Okay, that is in nowadays Saudi Arabia, right? Mecca. So he took them there. There was nothing, and just left. He just left them there, and then he went back. Sarah, his first wife, she had another child. His name was Isaac. Now Isaac, he had other children, and the one who is most known, the well-known, is Jacob. Now Jacob, his other name is Israel. His Hebrew name is Israel. So Jacob, he had 12 children. And these 12 children, they form the 12 tribes of Israel, or the 12 Israelite tribes. It's a big story about the Israelite tribes, of course. So this place in the world is really like the birthplace of these three great religions, okay? So from Jacob, you had the lineage that leads to Moses and Jesus Christ, because Jesus Christ was born from Mary, and Mary, her father his name is, do you know what's her father's name? Imran. Her father is the family of Imran. She's from the family of Imran, and that's the descendants of the lineage of Isaac and Jacob, okay, or Israel. And from Ishmael, there's a lineage that goes all the way. So he's basically considered to be the father of the Arab people, okay, in Mecca, okay. And from his descendants we have Muhammad. And who is Muhammad? Muhammad. No idea. Who is Muhammad? He is the prophet of the Muslims. So he's prophet of the Muslims. Okay, so when you talk about prophets, talk about Noah, Joseph, Abraham, Moses, and so on. So Muhammad is one of the prophets. Now, why do we need to learn about this part of the world? Why do we need to learn about it? If we can learn some of the language, the culture, why is that? It's very important to learn that, especially if you're a business person dealing with this part of the world, because it's very different. You need to understand the subtleties. You need to understand the differences in terms of culture, because those differences, they can affect the way you can do business with these people. So it's important to recognize the ethnic and religious backgrounds behind some of the things, like some of the matters that you deal with, or some of the issues that you deal with the Arab people, the Arab business people. They have the basis in that, the culture and the religion and so on. Also, that can help to break the stereotypes. There's a lot of stereotypes happening, okay? And it can lower the communication barriers between you and those people. Because if you just watch the TV, watch the news and so on, you may have some other ideas about the Arab people. But when you face them face to face and deal with them, then you will see it's not really that black and white. Okay, it's a lot of gray areas. Also, that can help us to develop skills in presentation, negotiations, and diplomacy, and dealing with people, whether they're business people or otherwise. Okay, so what countries in the Arab world do you know? Earlier I mentioned Saudi Arabia. Okay, what else? Jordan, yes. So Saudi, Jordan. Come on, everybody. Yes. Syria, yeah. Come on. Iraq, yeah. So we're going to try to name as many as we can. Afghanistan is not Arabic country. It is not. Okay. Pakistan, Afghanistan, India, they're not Arabic countries. Palestine, Lebanon, Iraq, I mentioned Iraq, right? How about the Gulf? Any one of you has traveled to the Arab world? Where'd you go? Egypt, okay. Qatar, Egypt, Qatar, where else? Dubai. So I think some of you, when you fly even to Europe or even Africa, sometimes you take Qatar Airways, you take Emirates, right? These are airlines belonging to these countries like Emirates, UAE, Al Unia, and Qatar, right? Okay. So let's get to know more about the Arab world. You can see, what is this continent, everybody? Africa. So you can see the green part that constitutes the Arab world. So you can see the Arab world is mainly in the north of Africa. The north of Africa, you have here Mauritania, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, that's my country, okay, Libya, Egypt, but also Sudan. Oh, it's not covered here, Sudan. And then you have the Levant countries, you have the rest of the, so the Levant countries here, Palestine, Iraq, Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, that's Iraq there, Syria there, okay? That's Jordan, and then Lebanon and Palestine. Of course, Palestine, next to Palestine, there's Israel, of course, you know that. And then Saudi Arabia, this big chunk in the Arabian Peninsula. Kuwait, there at the corner between Iraq and Saudi Arabia. The island of Bahrain, Palam. And then, so Palam is actually very small. That part there is more like Qatar, UAE, United Arab Emirates. What is this country? Yemen. Yemen, that's one of the oldest Arab countries. And Oman here, that's Oman there, okay? And then in the Horn of Africa, you have two countries. A small one there, that is Somalia. Unfortunately, because of civil war and because of interventions by other powers in this world, now it's not really that good over there. And you have Djibouti here. But also you have one more, it's not shown here, which is the Comoros Islands. So in total, how many countries are there? 22 Arabic countries spread out all the way from the west, from Morocco to the west, to Oman in the Arabian Sea and the Horn of Africa, Djibouti in the Horn of Africa. The population, though, is not that big. It is not that big. It's less than 500 million people. Okay, it's less than 500 million people. And this part of the world has a very strategic position. Now, look at the position of the Arab world. It is between Africa. So you have here the Great Desert. There's a Great Desert here, actually. So it's between Africa in the south, Europe in the north, and all the relationship with Europe, the colonialism and all that, and Asia. So you have Asia in the eastern part of the Arab world. And of course, being in that position, it has received a lot of influence. Now, the influence comes from all these countries, especially, I would say, from Persia. Now, when you say Persia in Chinese, how do you say Persia in Chinese? Posai, right? Posai, which is nowadays Iran, right? So Persia, there's also influence from Turkey. And the reason for that is because Turkey, up until the beginning of the 20th century, was ruled by the Ottoman Empire. Have you heard about the Ottoman Empire? Any one of you has visited Turkey? Yes, you've been to the palace, right? Yeah, great civilization. So the Turkish Empire or the Ottoman Empire, they ruled most of the Arab world. And that's why there's a lot of influence from the Ottoman Empire in terms of food, in terms of a lot of things, actually. Food, even the language, because the Turkish used to use Arabic as a script for writing as well. India, of course, because of the spices, the trade of spices, right? The Arabs used to trade even with China. They used to buy silk from China. There used to be a lot of trade in terms of silk, in terms of porcelain. There's a very famous general from China who visited the Arab world. Do you know what's the name of the general? He was an admiral from China. His name is Zheng He, right? He was a Muslim, by the way. He was a Muslim. He was a eunuch from the palace, of the emperor's palace in Beijing. He was in the emperor's palace in Beijing. He was a eunuch. He was made into a general, and the emperor at that time, he gave him lots of flotilla of boats, and they traveled to the Middle East. It is said that he performed Hajj also. You know what is Hajj, everybody? What is Hajj? Pilgrimage to Mecca in Saudi Arabia, because he was a Muslim, so he performed Hajj instead. And he went around Africa. Of course, Europeans, because of colonialism and because of the close relationship. Now, remember, the Arabs also were in Europe. They were in Sicily, in Italy, they were in Spain as well. They went all the way up to parts of France, actually, before. Right. So, when we talk about the Arab world, of course, whenever we talk about any country or any culture, there's always misconceptions. There's always misconceptions associated with those countries or with those regions, okay? For example, some of the misconceptions associated with Chinese is that all Chinese, they know Kung Fu, okay? Some of the misconceptions were about associated with Japanese, like all Japanese, they know electronics. They're so powerful in electronics, right? So of course, all these misconceptions. And of course, there's something like that associated with the Arab world. Anything comes to your mind? Misconceptions about the Arabs? You can say it, doesn't matter. I don't mind, you know? I don't mind, okay. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so of course, when people think of the Arab world, they think of Muslims, right? Because not all Arabs are Muslims. I'm going to come to that a bit later, okay? And not all Muslims are Arabs, okay? So people think about Arabs that having lots of wives. I can assure you, I only have one. Okay, I'm innocent, okay? Okay, you can tell my wife. Probably she's watching now on YouTube. Okay, so yeah. So actually, it is given, this is a right given by the religion, but it is not like that, okay? In my country, for example, it's illegal to have more than one wife. That's probably why I only have one, okay? But in other countries, it is not. It is not. Why? Because the religion, the Sharia law, which is a religious law, allow men to marry more than one wife. But it's not like that. It's not that easy. You can imagine having one wife is already a big headache, you know. So you can imagine having 4 wives, right? I mean, like 2, 3, or 4. Because for each wife you have to provide the same thing. You give a car to this one, you have to give the same car to the other one. Give the house to this one, give the same house, nearly same house to the other one. So, and you have in-laws from this wife, in-laws from the other one, another wife. You can imagine, it's crazy, okay? So, yeah, there is a bit of that, but actually, you know what? Before Islam, man, not only in the Arab world, but in all the rest of the world, they can marry more than 4 wives. So actually, Islam, when Islam came, it limited the number of wives for men. Yes, exactly. Okay, and actually, most men in the Arab world, they do not have more than one wife. It's very, very seldom to have somebody who has more than one wife, I can tell you that. Okay, even though they're allowed, it's not easy. And there are conditions, because you need to be you need to be just with them. You cannot give something to this and not to the other one. You have to be fair. It's not that easy. Okay. All right. So misconceptions. Let's talk about misconceptions. All Arabs are nomads. Arabs are nomads. They live in the desert, like this guy here. Okay. What people think when he says he's an Arab, you know, he's like chatting with people and then he's in the desert, right? Is that true? Of course, that's not true. Now, actually, some of the oldest cities in the world, they are in the Arab world. Can you name any? Some of the oldest cities in the world are in the Arab world. Yeah. Jerusalem, everybody. Jerusalem, right? Jerusalem, right? Now, Jerusalem, that's where the temple was. David's temple, Solomon's temple, right? It's mentioned in the Bible. It's the oldest, one of the oldest. Actually, before Jerusalem, there was an even older city, and that city is called Damascus. Damascus is the capital city of Syria, and it is the oldest city that is still inhabited until now. Until now, from 7,000 years ago. Damascus was there when Babylon was there. You can imagine, Babylon was in Iraq, Damascus in Syria. Of course, at that time, there was no Iraq, okay? They're all parts of, the Middle East. But anyway, the region is only desert and oil. You've been to Syria, you said?
Oh, Qatar.
Qatar. Okay, maybe Qatar is with the desert, yes. How about Egypt?
It seems the river Nile sustain the whole country.
Exactly. So they have the Nile, and therefore with the Nile, then it's more like sustainable. There's more greenery, right? Now, if you go to parts of Northern Africa, for example, Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco, it's Mediterranean. And Mediterranean, that when you talk about Mediterranean, that's similar to Portugal, Spain, southern France, Italy, Greece, Turkey, same kind of climate. 4 seasons, same kind of climate. You have mountains, you have things, but also you have a bit of desert, which makes it beautiful, actually. You can go from the north, and from the north to the south, it's so different. So it makes it interesting. They don't have only oil, they have other things. you can imagine different countries have different things. The oil is mainly, it's found everywhere. Actually, it's found in Northern Africa, like in Libya and Algeria, but also found in the Gulf region and so on. But there are other things as well. It's not just about oil and desert. All Arabs are Muslims? No. Where's the biggest proportion of Muslims in the world? Can you say? Where do we find the country with the biggest number of Muslims in the world? Yeah, Indonesia. That's Asia, right? That's Indonesia. That's Asia. Okay. So actually, the biggest number of Muslims in the world are located in Asia: Indonesia, India, Malaysia. Brunei. China, right? China has probably around 50 million Muslims, right? Different parts like south, northern west. Xinjiang province, Qinghai, Gansu, all of these provinces, there's a big proportion of Muslims there. The region is always in conflict. That's what the news tells you. Yeah, unfortunately, that's what the news tells you. The reality is not true. The reality, it is not true, of course. Actually, Europe has always been in conflict more than the Middle East. The Middle East, the reason for the conflicts, basically, it's related to the fact there's oil and gas, so that attracted other countries. They want to have a share. They want influence things and politically and so on, and also related to some problems, especially in Palestine and between Palestine and Israel. Mainly these are the problems. Otherwise, other problems were imported from other countries. They wanted to come and invade some of the Arab countries. They didn't do anything, like Iraq. They didn't do anything. They were just invaded. Somalia, they didn't do anything. They were just invaded. So that's the reality. Okay, that's reality. That is pretty much that is similar to what happened to China. Now, China, if any one of you has been to Beijing, Yuan Minyuan?
Yes.
Right? Do you know the story of Yuan Minyuan? It was destroyed, burned to the ground by 8 countries, okay, from Europe, right? That's pretty much similar to what is happening now in the Middle East, unfortunately. All right. Let's continue. So we talked about the oldest cities. We talked about, the Muslim women in Islam or women in the Arab world. I'll tell you something. The oldest university in the world actually is not in Europe, and it's not in America. America was not even discovered at that time. Actually, the first country in the world that has recognized the United States of America was a Muslim country, was an Arabic country. It's called Morocco. In 1790 something, yes. And my country also, they recognized the United States of America probably a couple of years later. So when we were countries, the United States of America was made of rebels who rebelled against Britain. Okay, so terrorists in a way, we could call them. Okay, at the time, the British used to call them terrorists. Okay, so women. The oldest university was founded in the 9th century in Morocco, Fez, the city of Fez in Morocco, and it was founded by a lady. She was a philanthropist. Her name is Fatima Al-Fihriya. Fatima Al-Fihriya, she was a philanthropist. She comes from the city of Kairouan in Tunisia. She could not build this university in Tunisia at the time for different reasons. She migrated to Morocco, okay, at the time of Andalusia in Spain. So there used to be a lot of travels between Tunisia, Kairouan, Morocco, and Andalusia, southern Spain. And she founded this city in Fez. And this university is still working up to now. It's the oldest university. It's founded by a lady. Now, when European women, they didn't have any rights up until the 20th century, early 20th century, 19th century, they could not inherit. They have no right for inheritance. They have no right, even sometimes education. A lot of the rights that European ladies did not have, Muslim ladies they had. 1400 years ago, Muslim ladies, they could inherit. They were equal, they were considered to be equal to men. And They had education. They had all the rights that they want. Okay, but of course, again, the media tells you the otherwise. Okay, why? Because the Muslim ladies, they cover or for different reasons. Okay, so there's a bit of that, unfortunately. So yeah. Okay, let's continue. Earlier I was talking about the Sumerians, which is the oldest civilization in the Arab world. Do you know that the Sumerians, they invented the writing? They are the first people who invented the cuneiform writing. That's the oldest type of writing. It's called cuneiform writing. They are the first civilization that invented the wheel, and from the wheel, the chariots. They are the ones who invented the base 60 system. You know what is base 60 system? It is a system based on number 60. Now, number 60 is a multiplier of 2, 3, 5, 12, 10, 15, and so on. So it makes it easier to work with this number 60. And you know what? It is used for astronomy. It was used for mathematics, like angles and circles and all that. And after that, when time was invented and the clock was invented, they also used number 60 for the time. So the 1 hour is divided by 60 minutes, the 1 minute is divided by 60 seconds, and so on. So that's still, but they actually pioneered. They pioneered that. The Sumerians about 5,000 years ago, around 5,000 years ago. Also, we talk about the Babylonians. The Babylonians, this guy, Hammurabi, he invented, or he came up with the first law, or the first code of laws. There was nothing like that, and it still exists. It's still there. They found it. The first code of laws of Hammurabi. People who study law, I think any one of you has heard of that? No, people who study law, they know about this one. Okay, and this is one of the 8 gates of Babylon. It's called Ishtar Gate. Ishtar, one of the 8 gates of Babylon. Babylon used to be such an amazing city-state. Okay, all right. Do you know of any other civilization in the Middle East? No? Okay, let's learn more. Kingdom of Saba. The Queen of Saba, anyone knows Queen of Saba? The story of the Queen of Saba and Solomon, the son of David? Yes, you can find it in the Bible, okay? Of course, Saba, or the Kingdom of Saba, was very rich because of the incense trade. The Phoenicians, they were based in nowadays Lebanon, in the city of Tyre, and they used to trade a lot with the other countries in the Middle East. And the Phoenicians, they are the ancestors, their writing system is the ancestor of Arabic, Hebrew, Aramaic language. Do you know what is Aramaic language, anyone? That is the language of Jesus Christ. Yeah. Jesus Christ, he spoke Hebrew, he spoke Aramaic. He was born in the city of Nazareth, in nowadays Palestine, right? Nazareth, son of Mary. So Aramaic language is a sister language of Arabic, sister language of Hebrew. But the Phoenicians, they actually, the Latin language, the Latin writing system and the Greek writing system is also based on the Phoenician writing system. You can learn more about this if you go to the internet. You can find a lot of information about that. The Nabateans, they were people of the northern part of Saudi Arabia, close by, so like northern part of Saudi Arabia and Jordan. And I don't know if any one of you has visited Petra in Jordan. That is Petra in Jordan. The Nabateans used to be very rich as well. Why? Because they used to protect the caravans, the trade in caravans between the south and the north, and that's why they used to get commissions. So they were very rich. Even they were so rich, the Romans from Rome wanted to get a slice of that. Okay, right. We'll leave the questions for later. Okay, guys. So what do you know about the Arabic language now? We're going to move on to the Arabic language. Yes, very difficult. Somebody said very difficult. Is it more difficult than Chinese? Yes. I can tell you, I'm still struggling with my Chinese. I'm always like, I can sometimes read, but I can't write. Sometimes I can read, but I cannot write. And if I'm reading something and I get stuck, I'm like, oh my God, I don't understand. I have to look it up in the dictionary, right? So, but with Arabic, we have letters. That's similar to the Latin. And Latin has how many letters? When I say Latin, I mean the English letters, the French letters, that is Latin letters, actually. 26. Now, can you guess how many letters are there in the Arabic language? How many thousands? Can you guess how many thousands are there? Just kidding, just kidding. There's only 28 letters. I always tell my students, if you put all these 28 letters together, you can form one Chinese character. It's like, they all look like strokes, right? So you can form one Chinese character. So it's so easy. And many of these letters actually are very similar. They're very similar, okay? So there are only 28 letters. So that's good news. That's good news. But the not so good news is there's 3 vowels only. There's 3 vowels. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But I want to talk about the Arabic language as a Semitic language. Semitic means from that region. All things related to that region is called Semitic, like Hebrew, Aramaic. All these are Semitic language. It's derived from the Phoenician. You guys know the Venetian, right? It's related, actually. Phoenician is very related. The modern standard Arabic, which is being taught where I teach here in Hong Kong Youth Space, is actually called modern standard Arabic, which is Puton Alabaman. Okay, Puton Alabaman. Not Puton Hua, it's like Puton Alabaman, okay? All right, so this is a very old language, but it was standardized since the 6th or the 7th century. And why is that? Because the Quran, Holanki, the Quran is related to that. So the Quran is written in Arabic. It is revealed to Muhammad. The Muslims believe that Quran is revealed to Muhammad in the 7th century, and it's in Arabic and cannot change. Cannot change. Look, Latin language changed. Latin in Rome changed, and it has branched out into French, Romanian, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, but Arabic, it stayed as it is. But what happened was the Arabic language, the Arabic countries, each country may have slightly different dialect. Okay, so you can find different dialects that evolved from Romance languages. And Romance languages, I'm talking about Italian, Spanish, and so on, from Latin. Of course, calligraphy, beautiful calligraphy with Arabic, same as Chinese. Chinese is also very beautiful calligraphy. And it is one of the 6 official languages of the United Nations. What are the other 5 languages of the United Nations? French, Italian, Chinese, not Italian, of course, French, English, Chinese, Spanish, and Russian, of course, and then Arabic. So 6 official languages of the United Nations. We're still talking about the Arabic language. So we said there are 28 alphabets with 3 short vowels and 3 long vowels only, okay? It is written from right to left, same as Chinese. Is Chinese written from right to left, everybody? Come on. You know that. You know the answer, right? Not always, but it can be written from right to left. It can be written from top to bottom Chinese, doesn't it? Isn't it? Sometimes we look at the newspaper, right? So Arabic can only be written from right to left. Okay. So yeah, it is written from right to left. It's joined up letters. So all the letters are joined up except for 6. Sometimes we call them the naughty 6. In Hanwha, they don't listen, so we call them the naughty 6. And the letters, they change shapes. Look at these letters. So we have the letters here. Actually, they're here. So they're separate. They are here, 28 letters. And they change shapes between initial, medial, and final. So depending on the position of the letter within the word, whether it's an initial or medial or final, it changes slightly. Sometimes it's the same. Like, look at this. They are the same. But sometimes the change is quite big. Okay, the change is quite big. Okay. But you learn this when you learn Arabic. You will learn about the change and shapes of alphabets in the same way as English, for example, has capital letters. You start with something with capital letters. And what you see here is a pronunciation of these letters. How about we all read the Arabic alphabets from the top to the bottom, from the start to the bottom together. Let's have a feel for the Arabic alphabets. Together. Alif,
Alif,
Ba,
Ba,
Ta,
Ta,
Tha,
Tha,
Jim,
Jim,
Ha,
Ha,
Kha,
Kha,
Dal,
Dal,
Val,
Dal,
Ra,
Ra,
Zay,
Zay,
Sin,
Sin,
Shin,
Shin,
Sod,
Sod,
Dod,
Dod,
To,
Do,
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 Ain,
Ein,
Gain,
Gain,
Fa,
Fa,
Qaf,
Qaf,
Kaf,
Kaf,
Lam,
Lam,
Mim,
Mim,
Nun,
Nun,
Ha,
Ha,
Wow.
Wow,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So how does it feel?
What's
Yeah.
the difference between the do, three?
Yeah. Okay. They sound. Some of them they sound similar. Actually, you will learn more about the difference later on. Okay. Hopefully you can join my class. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now look at the first three letters. Alif, ba, ta. Alif. Let's say it together. Alif, ba, ta.
Alif, Bata,
Alif, ba, ta.
Alif, Bata,
Alphabet.
Alpha.
Alphabet. Anyone of you knows Greek? Alpha, beta, theta. You see the relationship? Very close relationship. I'm going to show you another relationship. Look at these letters. Kaf, lam, mim, nun. K, L, M, N. Exactly the same thing. So when you say Kaf, lam, mim, nun, we're talking about K, L, M, N. Same order. You can see the relationship between these languages. You can see the relationships. So each of these letters actually, they have an equivalent. They have an equivalent in Latin. So all we need to do is join those letters together to form words. Same as we join letters together to form words in English. Same concept. The only difference is the concept of vowels, because the vowels, you learn them and you learn them up to a certain level, and then later on, little by little, you will get rid of them. Because when you hopefully become upper intermediate, advanced, you don't need the vowels anymore. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
What are the three vowels?
Yeah, the three vowels, they're similar to English, like a, like dad or bat, u, like to, u, like me too, okay? Or and e, so a, u, e. And they are short and long. When we say short and long, short means a, u, e, long means 全阳, a, u, e, okay? That's how it is, all right? Now in English, for example, when you say, I go to school, to, the sound of u in to is short, right? But when you say me too, that's long. See, so the concept of short versus long also exists in English language and other languages as well. Let's continue. So, do you think you know any Arabic words? Arabic words, anyone?
Algebra.
Yes, algebra. Algebra comes from Arabic. And that's a reference to the name of the mathematician, Al-Jabal. Anything else?
Orange.
Orange, very good. Orange, yes. Sorry? Mazel Tov. Mazel Tov, that sounds like a name of an artist. But that's not in Arabic, though. No, not in Arabic. I think Mazel Tov is in Hebrew, is it? Probably in Hebrew. Yeah, Mazel Tov, not in Arabic. Sorry. Yeah. You actually know a number of Arabic words, but you don't know them. When you drink lemon tea, you actually drink tea with lemon. How do you say lemon in Chinese? That's an Arabic word originally. Yeah, Arabic word, right? When you drink, like have a beer or have a wine, that's alcohol, right? Alcohol. That's an Arabic word, everybody. That's an Arabic word. Algebra, alcohol. When you know chemistry, the other word for chemistry is alchemia. alchemia or chemistry, and alchemia, there is also an Arabic word. Algorithm in mathematics, that's an Arabic word. Algorithms. Without algorithms, people cannot fly to the moon. Right? So without the Arabs, people cannot fly to the moon. Another way, right? Okay, so actually there's a number of words, but you don't know them. So for example, you have alcohol here. So see alcohol, alchemy symbols. Some of these symbols for alchemy. Lut, that's an Arabic word. Lemons, earth, orange, jasmine, artichoke, cumin, sorbet, sesame, cotton. In Arabic, we call it cotton. Cotton, same, exactly. Camel, giraffe, gazelle. All of these are Arabic words, including tariff, sorry. That's an Arabic word. In Arabic, we call it tarifa. Tarifa. And al-Qazar, al-Qasr in Arabic, which means a castle. You know the tennis player, Al-Qazar? You know? He has an Arabic name, actually, Al-Qazar. Al-Cove, Al-Kahf, that means a cave, and so on. Alcohol, algebra, algebra, and many, many other words. So you know them. You know some Arabic already, guys. Okay? But you didn't know. Okay? All right. Because they start with Al. And Al actually has a meaning in Arabic. You'll learn that hopefully later. Al is a definite article. Definite article. Okay. Like if you know French, le, la in French, that's a definite article. Or the in English. I have to rush it a little bit because time is flying. Okay. So any one of you knows any greetings in Arabic? Come on. I think. Yeah, assalamu alaikum. Very good. That's an Arabic greeting. That's an Islamic greeting. So people, for Muslims, they say assalamu alaikum. And what's the meaning of assalamu alaikum? May peace be upon you. What is peace? Hoping. So I wish you come in peace. And when somebody says, I come in peace, then what do you say? You offer them peace. Wa alaikum assalam. And may peace be upon you too. So you come in peace, we offer you peace. That is the Islamic greeting. And that same greeting, it was a greeting of probably Jesus Christ. Because he spoke Aramaic, he spoke Hebrew. And in Hebrew we say shalom. Shalom means salam, which means peace. The same kind of greeting, actually. It is the same kind of greeting, okay? What else? We have, let's read some of these greetings. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam. That is the Islamic greeting, one of the greetings in the Arabic world. Also, another greeting is to say, Ahlan. If you say Ahlan, the other person will say, most likely will say, Ahlan wa sahlan. It's like in Chinese, you say, Lei hou, and the other person will say, Lei hou, Lei hou. They say, Zozan, 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 right? People used to repeat that, right? They repeat that. So in Arabic, they don't say Ahlan, Ahlan. Sometimes they do, but usually they say Ahlan wa sahlan, which means hello. Also, marhaban. Also, marhaban is used by the Turkish. They say marhaba, marhaba in Turkey. So if you want to say to someone, how are you? Say, كيف الحال? And you want to say fine, but the Muslims or the Arabs, usually they say, Alhamdulillah. So what is Alhamdulillah? Means thank God. Thanks to God. It's like, it's okay, thank God anyway, right? Thank God, okay? And everything is fine. And how about thank you in Arabic? Anyone? Yeah, excellent. Shukran. When you say shukran, the other person would usually say afwan. Afwan, yes. And when you want to say goodbye, you say ma salama. So ma salama, it's similar to Chinese. You see, in Chinese language, you say ilu pin an, right? Right? Ilu pin an. So go with what? Not ilu pin an, that can go with safety actually, or peace, yeah, safety, right? So it's the same. Ma salama, go with safety. Because salama means safety, safety. And when somebody says ma salama, the other person will say Allah isalamek. So again, we refer to Allah. Allah is God in Arabic. So it's like, may God keep you safe. May God be with you and keep you safe, right? And now a lot of the times people will say, Inshallah. Now, if I want to say, I'm meeting my friend tomorrow, I don't say tomorrow, I'm meeting my friend. I say, I'm meeting my friend tomorrow, Inshallah. I'm traveling to Japan next week, Inshallah. And the Arabs, Muslims, they always have to say that. So what is Inshallah? Means God willing. So if God doesn't will you help you to do that, will not help you do that, then you may not go, okay? You may not do what you want to do. So this is also something very cultural, guys, very cultural. Now, where do we find Arabic script? Now, of course, Arabic language. What other languages has Arabic script? Can you think of other languages have Arabic script? China. Of course. Any one of you has renminbi 100 yuan? Yama. No, I'm not going to take it. Don't worry, okay? I'm not going to take it. Now, just going to show you. Okay. Oh, lovely. Thank you so much. Okay. You're not afraid, right? Okay, this is the 100 renminbi. Can you see some Arabic here? It's down here. It's down there. So next time when you look at the Arabic, at the 100 yuan renminbi, you will find different kinds of writing. You find Tibetan writing. You find Hanzi. Okay. You find also Arabic. Why? Because in Xinjiang province, they still use those Arabic letters. They use Arabic letters. Okay. So there you are. Arabic is not far away. I mean, it's part of China, right? Okay. Okay. Yeah, so you can find it in Xinjiang. That's $100, okay, I think. And the writing is here. The writing is here. Of course, in Persia, Iran, nowadays Iran, they use Arabic writing as a script. Urdu in Pakistan, even though Pakistan language is closely associated with Indian language, but because of the religion and because of Islam, they use the Arabic script and they added a few things. And the Ottoman Turkish. Now, of course, the Turkish, since the early 20th century, they stopped using Arabic script. At the time of Kemal Atatürk, the president of Turkey at that time. But if you go to Turkey, then you find in all those ancient monuments, mosques, and so on, you find Arabic language. So they used to use Arabic writing there. Moving on to social etiquette. Social etiquette in the Arab world can be a bit tricky, so it's very important to learn about that. When you're dealing with the Arabic people, you have to know exactly what is a title, so it's better to use a title and their name. Sometimes when you're dealing with men, you say also their name, like their son's name. Say Abu Ahmed, Abu Jalal, Abu something. Why? Because they feel proud to be a father. But if they're not married yet, you can say Abu and then their father's name. So always you have this one, Abu, okay? And always, like when you greet them, you say, how are you? And it's not like, okay, hello, or like that. No, you greet them, use their name, title, and ask about their health, ask about their family, okay? Dress code, of course, it's usually decent. You have to be, if you're doing business with the people there, then they expect you to dress formally, okay, for meetings and so on. But outside the meeting, you just need to dress decent, casual wear is fine. Of course, for the ladies, ladies have to pay attention to the dress code as well, because it's not like in other parts of the world, you have to cover more. For the ladies, they have to cover more. Punctuality, that's a tricky thing as well. Why? Even though they expect you as a foreign businessman coming to the Middle East to be punctual, to be on time, but they may not be on time. Okay, so expect people not to be on time sometimes for different reasons. Maybe his mother called him. She said, oh, I need your help. Maybe he's still praying. Maybe he's somebody, a guest or a cousin just arrived. So they have the face and honor. They cannot let somebody down. And family is more important for them than business. religion is more important than business. Some people, they don't understand that, but that's a mentality. That's a mentality. They might leave you in a meeting and say, sorry, I need to pray, I'll come back. Just wait for me, okay? So there's a lot of that as well. Okay, so in terms of punctuality, you are expected to respect time, but you have to expect flexibility from their side. Handshake, yeah, just firm handshake, nice, okay. But for ladies, never never try to shake the hand of a lady unless she offers her hand, okay, because of sometimes she may not like to do that, okay. There's a lot of sensitivity in that respect. Eye contact and body language. People in the Arab world, they give a lot of importance to that. No staring, but just gentle eye contact that gives them confidence. They feel like, they have a good vibe, it's like a good vibe. They feel confident dealing with you and so on. And some of the gestures like thumbs up or like this, try not to do that in the Arab world. They have other bad meanings, okay? Thumbs up is really very bad, okay? And this one, maybe like a threat or something like that. So try not to use those things. Also, when you're talking, when you're sitting with people, try, and for example, you crossing your legs, do not show your foot to your guests. That is disrespectful. That is disrespectful, okay? Disrespectful to do that, okay? All right. Now, have you been, did anyone invite you to their home or something, like in Egypt or? No, maybe next time. Okay. Now, of course, hospitality-wise, I'm talking here mainly about the Gulf region. And the Gulf region, they use a lot of bukhur, and bukhur is incense. So you can notice that in hotels, in their homes and so on. They do that all the time. And they drink this is coffee, by the way. Okay, coffee. And with the coffee, so this is coffee beans, and this is another kind of bean, cardamom, cardamom. So it has a taste of cardamom, actually, the coffee, very strong, and that's why it's they eat it, they drink it with dates. Business etiquette. It's very important to have close personal relationship with the people you're doing business with. Okay, it's not just business. They have to treat you like friends. You have to be like a friend to them. Okay, close relationship with them. The role of face and honor. Arabic people, they attach a lot of importance to face. So do not say anything that may make them lose face. And honor is very important. When they give you their word, for example, that's more important than a contract. Do not be surprised. Word for them is more important than a contract. In the meetings, okay, take your time. You may find some guests when you go there. So take your time, don't say anything before the guest until you feel like you can speak, okay? Always be patient, because it's really not the same as the Western style or the style that you've used to in Hong Kong, for example. So never discuss business with other guests in front of, who are present there. And always wait for the opportunity time to be able to talk to your host, okay? Confrontation, the Arabs, they don't like that. So you really need to be like a diplomat when you're dealing with them. And part of that is because of face saving. They don't like to lose face. So you really have to show a lot of impatience dealing with Arab people sometimes. And that can be very frustrating sometimes. So for people who don't know that can be really frustrating, okay? Of course, decision making is not easy, because the people who are the decision makers, maybe you can never see them. They're somewhere up there. And even the delegation that they give, it may not be due to qualification or something. It may be somebody who's just close friend to them, okay? So delegation, the hierarchy, the delegation is limited to those people who are loyal, who are close to them, and may not be to the people who are best qualified to do that, okay? And it's always important to be diplomatic to reach consensus with the Arab world. I think that's it for me. Thank you very much. Any questions? Thank you.
So, any questions about the Arabic language or cultures, or about our program, certificate for module If you're in a hurry, you can leave us, right? If you have questions, then feel free to ask us, okay? Any questions that you can think of right now?
Some brochure.
Oh, some brochures.
Okay. And no, yeah, here we have our QR code. Yeah, feel free to scan it to our website. Okay, for more details. Okay. Thank you very much for coming today. Okay. Do you remember 3 Arabic words that you learned today?
Shukran.
Shukran.
Okay, sure. Yeah. And more, how do you say hello again?
أهلا أهلا وسهلا مرحبا
Marhaba.
السلام عليكم.
Okay. Marhaba. Yeah. Good. Okay. Then hopefully we can see each other again in the course. Yeah. Wish you a nice weekend. Yeah. Thank you for coming. And please support our event in the future again. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
其實我有一個問題想問，我想問下你下一個 course 會係幾時？因為呢個 course 我
September
上唔
9月
到啊，
哦，個 course 應該係4月係咪？
出年
係啊係啊，4月或者 January 1月，仲未 confirm。
係啊，所以我就問下。